Ja, dat is wat makkelijker.
Ja, dat is waar. Heel goed. Dat is
Staat hij aan?
goed. Ja.
Nee, gooi ik hem erin.
Welcome everyone to the fourth round of the SRL Championship. Today we are at Silverstone, Great Britain. We will doing the F2 today. We'll start shortly. We'll take you through the current standings going into Silverstone short qualifying. On first place, our driver championship leader is Witcher with 51 points. He's done a amazing 3 races so far and is doing well in the constructors as well with McLaren. Followed by the kid Zico, then on third place Arrow Blake. Fourth is Salvanik. Fifth Cole Base Bolstad. Sixth Silver Eagle PS. Seventh Chima Winnie. Eighth Pinnacle. Ninth Johnny, and then 10th X Hulls. So I'm joined by Yari. Hello Yari.
Hello.
Yeah.
You're taking comms today. I'm going to do the co-comms for today as I'm really busy in the upcoming weeks. So you'll probably be doing a lot of comms in F2.
Exactly, I'm the student today. Will take Yari's place in the coming weeks. When Yari's busy. Yari, yesterday you participated in the GP2. You actually won one race as well.
Yep.
How did you
Yes.
experience it?
Yeah, the track Silverstone is quite a challenging track. It's gonna be a driver skill track, I think. Strategy calls are also very interesting because yeah, I've practiced with the F1 cars, and I think a one-stop strategy will be the best. But then, what is the best, the medium soft or the soft mediums? And that's I think a very interesting one.
For sure, and we saw yesterday and even today in the F4 we saw quite some penalties handed out. So how do you think drivers will handle those?
Yeah, I think the penalties are yeah it's just about taking a bit of risks, and who is capable of taking risks without getting penalties. That's I think a really important one because the F2 field is really close with which Zico, yeah, and I'm not counting out Gmo, and yeah, also both Alpha Towers IP and Johnny showing yeah what they're capable of, and yeah, I think it's gonna be a really close field again. And Pinnacle had an amazing time trial time, so I'm not counting him out. So it's gonna be a great battle, and I'm not sure if you have any information about the race conditions, because if it looks a little bit smoggy outside, I think.
Well, the tire conditions are, well, the track conditions, it's clear outside, so we're expecting dry tires. As we see now, two drivers, Isolated with Flare and Johnny, going out on the mediums. Johnny's still in the
Yeah,
pit,
that's
but Isolated with Flare on the mediums, and the kid Zico as well on the medium compound.
yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. I think if you wanna have a good start, and yeah, if you have the pace on the mediums at the end, I think the soft medium strategy will be the fastest.
So we'll
You've
definitely have a
seen
look on that.
yeah, but yeah, as I said, the field in F2 is so close. With also VC who recently joined, he was a little bit too late, but he still made it. He's also a driver who has been attending in the F1 pre-season race, and yeah, showed us what he's capable of. But yeah, I'm still yeah again close field with a lot of battles, and yeah, just like GP2 yesterday. We just aiming for a clean one. And I think yesterday in GP2 the race was really clean and a lot of battles on track. And hopefully I think F2 has a lot of potential of being one of the cleanest tiers in SRL at the moment. So yeah, very curious what the race can do.
What do you think are
With
the best
also,
overtaking possibilities where on the track? Because you drove
yeah, I
yesterday in
think
GP2.
in sector 3. The end of I don't know what the corner is called to be honest, but yeah, after the second DRS there's a great opportunity to overtake. I think we see a lot of overtakes there. Well, IP is I set the fastest lap, first one into the 125s.
That's a very good time from IP. For sure
Yeah,
be
he's on the
wanting
soft,
that
but
pole
yeah.
position. Did a great race yesterday,
Oh,
but as Witcher goes with a 125.2. As we're looking down with GMA, who is currently going down Hanger Straight, trying to set a time.
We also have a new reserve on the grid today. That's Neuro Pirate. He's a reserve of GP2. F2. And he's also starting on the mediums. So I'm really curious what Neuro Pirate and also Lunar Jetty is also a reserve driver. Both new drivers within the series, so I'm really curious what they can do.
Me too, Neuropire currently in his out lap, trying to really
And
warm up those medium
provisional.
tires and get them running as well as he can.
Arrow in the Ferrari, I've been practicing with him this afternoon. He showed some great pace. And I think he's also a very big. Yeah, I think he's one of the most potential winners. I think in Silverstone for today, with Witcher and Pinnacle. But still, the gaps are already really close. So.
Arrow Blake setting a time in the 1:25.1, which is a very fast time. I'm sure he can be proud of his time now as we drive on board with the kid Zico, who is on his mediums but goes off the track. I'm not sure if that's where the track limits are, but he is continuing his lap, going down Maggots and Beckett. And Chapel. His DRS open on Hanger Straight. I believe he put in the fastest sector 1 at one point. We're re-watching his time now. What can he do with those mediums? Can he come in the top 10 and put some time between those soft tires? The entire top 12 is on soft tires currently, so we're having a look what he can do.
There. Yeah.
Goes into P10, so we're not sure if the medium choice will be the best choice for now, but we'll keep a close eye on that.
Oh, there's a big crash on the DRS straight there with Neuropirate hitting the back.
Went off.
Yeah, hitting the back of the guy in front. I believe it was AlphaTauri.
So that's not good for his first race, as his reserve driver has to go into the pits, probably has some front wing damage as well. He'll be going to have...
Sylvanek goes third fastest in the Red Bull.
Almost everyone currently in the pits. Frisky Biscuit is trying to set a time, but he has invalid lap time, which is so difficult around here. You can easily get a invalid lap time, which is making things so difficult to really drive on the edge. As we saw last week in Baku, if you drive on the edge you can hit a wall, but that's without track limits, you damage the car. Here it really is the track limits, but you have really big runoff areas, so you have less chance of damaging your car.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one. I think Zico on the mediums, I think his lap was pretty good.
As he's coming into the pits now.
1.5 seconds behind Arrow. I think it's a great time from him, but he might have another go on his second stint on this tire, and trying to close the gap even more.
Some people already again on the outlap. As we join Raz on his outlap, trying to warm up those soft tires. He'll be the first one to cross the line for his fast run. Didn't set a time yet, as didn't WC, Neuro Pirates, Straight Racer, and Johnny, who will be wanting to put a time in as soon as possible and have another run.
Straight Racer and Raz is the first one to set a time now, I think. So let's follow Raz for a second. He drove in F1 last season, and yeah, since F1 has been improved so much, we've decided with him that he should be fitted into the second tier. And oh, there goes an invalidation.
That's an invalid lap time. That's what I mean. It's so easy to get an invalid lap time, which really only with 8.5 minutes left, he will be probably doing a cooldown lap, as far as we're concerned, and then
I'm heading back now
again
to Straight Racer in the Williams. He didn't set a time at the moment, but I'm really curious what he can do in the Williams today.
Wanting to put his first time on the board. Going down Maggots Beckett's here. Such a lovely combination of corners, Maggots and Beckett's. Really one of my favorite corners in probably F1.
Yeah, if you get it right, then yeah, you will gain a lot of time. I think it's... Oh, there goes another invalidation for...
And he immediately
Racer.
goes into the pits. Good idea to go immediately into the pits, I believe.
I'm going to send Zelvenic another invite.
A lot of drivers are on track now, wanting to set fastest lap they can do.
And I think the front runners are on a hot lap as well. Oh, and we have another Ferrari. Is there going to be no slipstream from WC for Arrow?
We're dropping.
Let's
to
see if Arrow is
WC.
improving after Maggots and Beckett's. If he is improving on his current time. And he is.
He's put down the fastest sector 2 with a very, very small margin, but he also has a 1/10 of a second now gap to Witcher, which he is increasing.
Yeah, which had an invalidation, so he is going to set another lap.
So have a look as Arrow crosses the line and actually improve to a 125, almost 125.1, which is a very fast lap.
Yeah, I think with the times of Arrow and the times of Witcher, I think that the times, they're pretty much the midfield in tier 1. So yeah, these guys are doing and improving a lot lately.
We had Lunar Jedi just going off right just before the start finish line, so he'll be doing another lap before he starts his fast round.
And Zico decided to put a fresh softs on it, so he'll get rid of the mediums and go for the softs.
Only Johnny really currently putting in on the mediums, but 127.6 is just not good enough for him. Might want to ditch those mediums and start on the softs as well, as most of the pack is doing now.
Quoker goes second fastest. We're totally missing that. And Witcher goes fastest now.
Witcher with a 124.9, the only driver on track now who's going in the 124s. That's a good time for him. He'll be going into the pits probably.
But I'm really impressed about Quoker actually, because Quoker used to be a midfield driver, but I think he's showing his improvements on Silverstone. Might be a track for him that suits him. And it's a really good job with having both Force India drivers within the top 5 at the moment. And top 10, top 9 actually is within a second.
As we see Jimmy Winnie spinning in Cobb's corner, so he'll be abandoning his lap, going into the gravel currently. So that's not good for him as he is currently P12. One thing to
No, and he retired from this
he's not
session as
continuing
well.
this session. So that's a shame for him. Won't improve his time.
Yeah, he is at P12 at the moment, and I think he might go on the mediums starting, so he can put his last stint on the softs, and so he will go for the attack mode, I believe. So really interesting strategy because Gmo has the pace for the top, so he just have an unlucky qualifying at the moment.
We're currently riding on board with IP, who is currently in P6, wanting to improve his time. Try to reach for the top. Going to the last couple of corners before going into the start finish.
IP also showed in GP2 that he is capable of setting a good time in.
He improves his time but remains P6 for the time
Yeah.
being. And goes through the gravel and spins as well. Right after his time lap.
Oh, that's unfortunate for him. Will we have...
We currently have Panicle on his outlap.
Softs.
Frisky Biscuit indeed doing his outlap on a 3 lap old soft tires. How do you think they will perform? They're already 3 laps old. Do you think he's going for a quicker time or just for some track time?
I think he's going for the second option. I think he's going for some track time, and just about feeling the track. Maybe he didn't have any practice and he's just going for some track time, I believe, and just save up his tires. And it might be a strategy thing here that he's going to start on the mediums and finish on fresh softs and don't count out safety cars. That's also a big possibility here.
Well, safety cars are definitely less likely than we had last week in Baku, of course, with those narrow walls surrounding the circuit, as here are quite some runoff areas if you collide, but nevertheless we can't exclude them, so might be a good option to start on the medium tires. As everyone now
Straight Razor, who's on a lap,
softs.
by the way. He didn't invalid at the moment, but he
now
does
he
now,
did. And he goes on to the grass a bit. It's such a shame, he hasn't put in a lap yet, and only 1 minute and 30 seconds on the clock.
In the first sector he is already 1/10 up on his usual time.
We'll be tracking Panicle for the rest of this lap, as he is in P5, which is a very good place to be, and still improving, so we'll see where he ends up with his fresh soft tires. Only a lot of guys doing outlaps.
And still within the 10th up now. Now his sector 3 should be a really important one for his starting position. What can Panicle do? It's a little bit busy in front of him. Hopefully he will keep his concentration. There he goes, Panicle. Oh, and he goes to 3rd at the moment. Good luck.
Witcher is out on new softs as well, trying to improve his 1:24.9, which is already such a good lap, but he wants to improve. He knows that there's more time for him. As we ride on board just...
And Arrow goes now. His final lap.
Riding on board with Witcher, who went off onto the dirt and will have to abandon his lap, so he won't be improving his 1:24.9. We'll have a look at Arrow. Can he improve?
The fastest sector 1.
Does that small error from Witcher cost him the pole position? That's what we'll have to look.
If Arrow doesn't make any mistakes. Because, oh, a bit of oversteer there. that won't help him. Oh, and we have
And in invalid lap time, he just
invalidation.
cut off the track at
Let's
Maggots
have a
and
look at
Beckers, which is
Paul
such a
Walker
shame.
also.
Arrow
Oh,
put in
Luna
such a good.
JD goes a good lap from him because he goes 7th fastest. And both reserve drivers are in P6 and P7 now. So they're looking pretty strong.
A good result for the Haas team as they go P6 and P7.
Yeah.
Both reserve drivers, which is really
But
good as
look how
they.
close the field is again. As I has predicted, the field is so close again. With the top 12 within 1.1 seconds, with Frisky following on 1.3 seconds in P13. That's I'm shocked.
Yeah, indeed, you said that
That
before qualifying already that it would be such a tight gap, but indeed it is very, very tight, and we'll have to see in the race conditions what's going to happen. So that was qualifying. Our pole position taker is Witcher with a very good lap. Such a shame that both Witcher and Arrow couldn't improve on their final lap. So we'll take you through the qualifying orders with our pole position and championship leader Witcher taking P1. Then Arrow, Blake P2, Pinnacle P3, who put in a terrific last lap. Quaker on P4. P5 isn't showing up for me. Could you, Yari, could you tell me please?
sorry.
P5.
P5 is Salvanic.
Sylvanek on P5, thank you very much. Nero Pirate on P6. Luna Jedi P7. IP on P8. The Kid and P9. WC 96 on P10. Silver Eagle P11 and P12. MG and
MG.
then
Yeah.
P13 Frisky Biscuit.
Yeah, I've made a photo because I'm always too late as well. And we have Gmail in 14, Skullface 15, Isolate 16, Johnny 17, Straight Razor 18, and Raz didn't manage to get a validated lap, so he will start at the back of the grid. And what do you think? What are your predictions for today? Well,
Well, as we saw in qualifying, everyone is quite close to each other, so it's really going to be a tight battle on track, I think, as well. So it's really quite unpredictable as everyone has good pace around here.
yeah, it's
Really.
just about don't picking up any penalties. That's really important. And I think it's also really important to get the first laps, or to keep yourself safe in the first laps, because I think the first 3-4 laps are crucial. I think that's
Well, most
really
definitely, yeah. But also the first corner is really tricky. Getting
yeah
all those 20 cars, 19 cars into the first corner, which is quite tight going from the right. Here we see the warm-up lap. So the drivers
yeah.
will
My
be.
predictions going for, I think Arrow takes the win. I think his race pace from the afternoon practice session was really close to mine, and he's really quick here around Silverstone. So I'm going for Witcher in P2. I think he's going to make a small mistake because he's the current championship leader and there's going to be some pressure on him. And yeah, as the standings are now, I think Pinnacle will pick up, I think, third if he doesn't make any mistakes. But
That's definitely the
yeah,
most important today. Don't make any mistakes and don't try to cut any corners as you will be punished really, really tough. As
oh,
Witcher
which
goes
goes off.
off
Oh,
already in
that's
the warm-up
unfortunate.
lap.
Yeah, I hopefully, as I predicted, this will be his mistake. Um,
That won't do his tires any good, that's for sure. But at least in the warm-up lap and not in the real race, that would have been disastrous for him. Really have to keep his focus now. As you see the predicted pit stop strategy, as you said indeed, the soft medium or the soft hard with
yeah, I
the one
think
stop strategy is the best for now.
yeah, the top 12. Outside the top 12, everyone is starting on the mediums and hards except for Straight Razor, and Gmal's even starting on the hards.
The only driver to start on the hards is Gmore now. We're doing a long first stint then, for sure.
Yeah.
Curious to see what happens with possible safety cars coming out.
Yeah, I can talk you. I don't know anything about the hards on this track. I didn't try them, but have you? Do you have any experience with the hard tires on this track?
No, I actually haven't used the hard tires yet. I always driven on the softs for practice, so I know how
Yeah, I'm really.
but the hards, you really have to warm them up well to get them managing the
Yeah,
right
especially
temperature and grip.
with a full tank of gasoline. Yeah, then it's really going to be interesting. But as we're lining up the field, we're almost going to have the red lights out. We have 4 or 5 red lights,
Lights are
and
out,
away
and
we
away
go.
we go. It's a decent start from Witcher and Arrow, both getting away quite well. Let's go
Which
into the
had an
first
amazing
corner.
start.
One of the Haas are going wide, which already taking quite a gap into Arrow.
That was a clean start, I believe. A few small incidents.
And we see Silver Eagle dropping a place there in his Red Bull, dropping to 11th, but
I
very
think
clean.
everyone very clean start of the race.
Pinnacle drops to 5th after.
Oh, what happened?
We have a yellow flag.
We've
A
got
short yellow flag, probably someone got off to.
IP has spun. Does he have damage? Oh, that's unfortunate for IP.
Just dropped
Does he
right
have
back
front
to
wing
the.
damage? No, he doesn't have
It
any
doesn't
damage,
look like
so
any
he
damage.
can continue. And Neuro Pirate had an amazing start on the softs because he already moved up, I think, 4 or 5, 2,
Nero
3
Pirate moved up
positions.
2 positions, as well as Isolated Flare, who moved up 5 positions there. And
Yeah.
there we see someone go off.
Oh, we have Savanic and Zico colliding. I think this will be a safety car, yeah.
Yeah,
So
for
this
sure.
will be going to be very interesting. Which
Skullface
tires are they going
losing
to choose? Oh,
his
which is
front wing there.
unfortunate. Oh, this going to mix things up. Are they
Skullface
quickly
losing
diving
his
into the
front wing
pits? Yeah.
and then getting a penalty, which he started on the mediums in hope he could do well, but now have to go in the pits, and as well losing that advantage from those medium tires.
But I believe
I see Johnny had an amazing start.
Johnny, holy moly. Oh,
Moved
no,
up
I don't think
12 places.
I don't think the
I don't think that could be correct. Could be incorrect. Not sure. Might be the screen.
Arrow lost 4 positions. But I don't think that's true as well.
It's just catching up.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's so difficult to see when there's, when the timetable doesn't give what you want.
Pinnacle had some issues as well at the beginning. We see 1-4 position. Silver Eagle now in P7.
3 drivers
Silver
made stops as Rez goes onto the grass, which Rez went onto the grass, is now backing up his car. He made he pitted for new tires. But coming out
Isolate
of
is
the
within
pit.
the points. Good job from Isolate.
Isolate having an amazing start there. We see everyone queuing up behind the safety car. Only Skullface having a penalty now because of speeding in the pit lane. And him dropping right back to the field, which is unfortunate for him. So our big winners from the start are now Isolated Flare, who made up 7 positions. As well as Silver Eagle and WC, who made up 4 positions each, which is very good. Especially with the safety car coming out. We've got 2 people already dropped out of the race in the first lap.
They're pitting. Pinnacle's in the pits with Silver Eagle also in the pits. Does Pinnacle have any damage or?
We'll be having a look as Pinnacle goes into the pits now. Is it just for tires, or will they change his front wing? What happened for him? No, it's
No,
just a regular
his
tire change. Going on to the hards, wanting to last them, like, I hope for him he wants them to last 23 laps, which is really difficult. Otherwise he will have to
I
put
think
a
it's possible.
Silver Eagle going on to the mediums, choosing a different
Yes.
strategy,
Yeah,
which
he
is
has to
good.
pit again.
Yeah, for sure, the medium tires won't last that long. So we see everyone queuing up behind the safety car with our race leader still, Witje. Was kept clean the first lap. Yeah, of course, already in the first lap we got the safety car, which helped him out quite a bit.
Isolate now in P7. So because of he started on the medium, so he's definitely going to extend his current stint, and yeah, really interesting what he's going to do. Is he going to
Gma on the
extend?
hards in P9. What can he do with those tires? That's gonna be really interesting to see, because of course he has a compound harder than the guys around him, but you know, he can make them last a little bit longer due to the safety car now. So we see all the gaps are closing up.
And the safety car is going in this lap. So which is the guy who can set the pace? He's in front. Oh, goes a bit wide.
So we now have in the back we have a couple of guys on new tires. In the front almost everyone still remains on the
And there he
tires
goes.
that they started. And Witje controlling the field. The MGT gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with Gma.
We have an incident.
We have yellow flags, but we're
Silver
still
Eagle
racing.
falling back. Silver Eagle had an accident. Does he have damage? No, he doesn't. That's unfortunate. Or, oh no, I'm sorry.
Silver
he
Eagle
pitted.
pitted last lap. Same with Pinnacle.
What
So
were
both dropping
these
to pick
yellow
P16.
flags?
There was a
Oh, and we
slight
have
incident.
IP overtaking Johnny. I think that was a team call there.
As Pinnacle goes by Silver Eagle, trying to make those hard tires work. Rouse dropping back to P17.
Arrow Blake has lost a session.
Arrow Blake has spun.
He is spun. Oh
And crashed.
No. Yeah.
That's terrible news for him.
He's losing this. Yeah.
As it promotes Quaker to P2 at a really good qualifying.
This is not allowed as well, so I'm going to send him a message.
Which already managing a 2.5-second gap in front, so he really has the pace now. As we are looking at a battle for 8th place between IP and Frisky Biscuit, as well as Gma, who has a penalty, so that he really wants to take up his time now.
2.3 gap already on Quaker, which is really quick, showing his pace. With WC closing up now on Neuro within DRS range. And Frisky is also within DRS range of IP.
Around that P9 till P10 we have a couple of battles going on as Iceland with Flare gets a penalty. This is what we said in the beginning, it's so easy to get penalties around here. As we see Johnny only 3/10 on Gmob, wanting to make that overtake on those medium tires, of course.
Hearts are those hearts at the beginning are not paying off. traction out of the corners, the grip levels, they're not really good on the hards. If you are watching Johnny at the moment,
we'll go back to Johnny. We were watching
he's really
Frisky
close
Biscuit
now.
coming out of Maggots and
Johnny
Beckets.
goes for the overtake on Gmail
Without
on the
DRS,
inside.
only slipstream. Into the inside, really good move, of course. Wanting to stick that move.
Oh,
now we've
nice
got
racing
DRS.
by them.
Gmo wanting to keep that inside line, but Johnny just has the overspeed to keep him
We have
in that corner.
Yellow in sector 3 with Silver Eagle spinning.
Silver Eagle had such a difficult race already.
Yeah.
Of course, after his pit stop going back down the field, and he is pitting again. Is that because of
damage?
and
gets
having
no,
a penalty? So this
race.
is really difficult for him now to manage his race.
The only thing he can hope for is a safety car.
Yeah, for sure. He now has a penalty, and he has to go back into the pits for a second time in 6 laps.
And Neuro Pirate in P3, so
yeah, an excellent start.
We see he's really closing up the gap now. Well, Pinnacle is in battle with Straight Razor. Oh.
We're currently looking at WC, who will get his DRS now, trying to close the gap or even make an overtake. Only 0.6 of a second. We don't know if that's gonna be enough. It won't be enough this lap, but he will try to keep that gap as close as he can, so he can make the move to the next lap.
Straight Razor onto the grass and lost it there. Pinnacle takes P12.
That's really unfortunate for Straight Razor. We'll have
Pinnacle
to make
already on the back of Gmo. Gmo goes in the pits. I don't think he's happy with the hard tires. So that was a strategy. That strategy didn't work out for him. Well, WC is gaining on the row at the moment.
We'll get DRS now on this straight. It's a very short straight though, so
for
we
the
don't
last podium spot.
So it will be difficult to overtake here, but he can close the gap. Gmo ditching his tires, and there Neuro Pirate just goes off. Slide into the gravel. Can WC close it enough so that he can overtake him here? Or maybe, and WC loses it.
Oh no!
And he's off.
He's off. Even
just cuts into the grass.
For losing it.
He just lost it into the grass.
And that will mean Lunar JD promotes himself to P4, and the Haas's are... Oh, we have a sector 2.
That was probably because of WC, and still
pretty good.
A yellow flag in sector 2. But that's now clear. Yeah, Haas are really doing a good job. Both reserve drivers getting into P3 and 4, so at least one podium position. They are hoping, of course, they can close the gap to Quaker and Witcher, hoping for a double podium for Team Haas, which would be excellent in their first race on Silverstone.
Isolate is gaining on Lunar JD, so Isolate is a contender for the podium while starting on...
As we have a yellow flag, Pinnacle.
Pinnacle
has spun
no.
In the last corner.
Pinnacle spun. That's unfortunate for Pinnacle. These
also on those hard tires.
Not the tire to be on.
No, for sure. We have seen a couple of guys spun.
Conclude that.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of guys
lost his front wing. Oh no. And he just passed the pits. Oh.
It's going to be a hard lap for him.
For Pinnacle.
As we are going to have a look at the battle for 7th with IP close. Thank you. As we have a close battle for P6.
Jeez, I was on my screen. Frisky almost lost it, but IP really closing up now on MG.
Getting the traction.
Picking up the DRS.
With Frisky Biscuit following him, so MG is really the sitting duck here. Defends the inside. IP wanting to cut back, yeah.
Switchback move from IP. Oh, if this move going to... Is he going to let it... Oh, and what an amazing move by IP. What a great move from IP there. Doing the switchback move. Well, Frisky is gaining on MG now.
This is a very good three-way
This is a
battle.
good battle.
We're looking here.
Oh, Witcher is in the pits. The leader of the race is in the pits at the moment. Fresh mediums, that's his tire choice.
Dropping back to P11, so we have to take care of the traffic in front of him to keep that gap.
That's so cool about this grid, it's so close. That if you make a pit stop, you fall back to P11.
Immediately back to P11, that's so harsh, but he will have to manage his tires as well as get through the pack again.
Oh, let's head back on the battle of Frisky and MG. Because MG picks up a little grass there. A little bit of grass.
The Frisky Biscuit is really close. Now here, through Maggots and Beckett's.
About
into
P3
Chapel.
and P2, both Haas's are now on the podium.
As Luna Jedi is really close to his teammate Nero Pirate.
Still, they're not pitting, so they're continuing with another lap.
Frisky Biscuit now really close to MGT. Keeping this battle going. Both on
IP in the pits.
9 lap old mediums. As Frisky Biscuit gets a penalty there in the chase towards MGT.
How are the penalty standings?
We already got 8 penalties. 8 different drivers with penalties.
With MG is leading
with 8 seconds already. Witcher, our race leader who pitted, got a 3-second penalty as well. This could really work out for Quaker and Nero Pirate and Luna Jedi, both top 3, still don't have any penalties.
Yeah. I'm not sure when Raz is pitting, but Witcher has to make some moves, and that's going to cost him a bit of time, I believe. If he's closing the gap. With Frisky now really close on MG, and he will be going for the move on the straight.
This is where we saw yesterday during the GP2.
Oh, that's not a good line from Frisky.
Down Hanger Straight we saw the most overtakes, right?
Yeah.
As Luna
and we
Jedi
have a battle for P2.
Luna Jedi goes into P2. Overtakes his teammate.
Oh, and hopefully they're not both pitting on lap 10, because
well, of course they will have to look out for that as well. A double stop
with
in
MG picking
the
up
F1 game.
Another 3-second time penalty, and that's going to set him on 11 seconds of penalties, and we see diving into the pits now.
Now 9 laps with those soft tires, which is already quite a long stint, but the top 3 all are already driving 10 laps on these softs, so they'll probably be pitting quite soon. Don't want to lose too much time.
Nero Pirate is actually really good on his ERS management. He's still on 87%, and that's pretty good to see.
That's quite important, of course, trying to overtake.
His teammate is also really good with his ERS.
With the ERS and everything, trying to overtake, of course, the ERS can help you quite a lot. It's really powerful this year. There we go, Nero Pirate getting the DRS on Luna Jedi.
Yeah, there's going to be a move for second place here. Yeah, and that's going to be good for Nero Pirate, as he is the leading 2 of the Haas's, and he's diving into the pits, I think. Yes, he is, and his teammate Luna Jedi needs to set another lap on these 10 lap old softs.
As Iceland with Flair goes up to P3 with his 11 lap old mediums.
P2.
Yeah. P2 now, yes, as Quaker and Nero Pirate both go into the pits. But managing that time penalty as well, that's gonna be difficult for him.
Now we've got another different battle
close.
For P3 with Frisky and MG. Frisky is really close now on him. He needs to get a good exit. to come closer.
Hoping for a mistake as well. Of course, he's
He
really
knows,
got
yeah.
all of his ERS out now.
And he knows MG got
20%.
about 11 seconds of penalty, so
It's important to probably try and pass him, but keep your calm, because those 11 seconds of penalty are really gonna cost MG now.
well, Isolate on the mediums is really closing up on Lunar Jetty now. So Lunar Jetty is struggling with the tires. And
Lunar Jetty probably coming into the pits this lap, as his teammate came in last lap.
Oh, MG goes wide. Frisky moves up to third. Great move from Frisky. As you said, MG made a small mistake and Frisky was there.
It's so hard under pressure to keep everything calm. As we have a yellow in sector 2, it looks. As Arrow.
It's Arrow again.
He has gone off.
It's not
starting from P2. This is really a terrible race for him. We want to get this off his shoulders as soon as possible.
IP overtaking Skullface for P10.
Skullface on those 9
Lunar Jetty still continuing on his softs.
Trying to extend it, and the gap. Isolate with Flare isn't closing that gap very hard, so it looks like Lunar Jedi is really doing a good job on those medium tires, or on those soft tires, sorry. Managing to keep that gap 1.7 seconds around that, even extending the gap. It looks like he has really got control now.
And also made a small mistake, because lately he was 2 seconds behind Raz, and now he's 3 seconds, so he made a small mistake.
Raz really close
with
to Johnny.
Quaker really closing up. Quaker has also pitted, and he is already within a second now. Does Witcher have any damage? Witcher lost his front wing, his right front wing, and that's going to hurt him. He's going off track now, and Witcher has lost his right front wing, and that's why Quaker and Raz have been gaining a lot of time on him. And
Witcher not going into the pits.
Pitting.
Continuing with his damaged right wing.
Yeah, he has to. If he pits now, what tire is he going to choose?
Raz made probably a small mistake.
Yeah, that was the mistake I was talking about. I'm not going to say it again. But unfortunate for the championship leader here, as all cards have been shuffled for the race win today.
Lunar Jedi really trying to extend his...
Yeah, that's really impressive from Lunar Jedi.
He's keeping that gap on 1.6, 1.7 seconds, so his tires aren't dropping at all, so he's managing really well. As Quaker is closing in on Witcher. Which of course with that
also
minor damage.
But Raz made a small mistake, I believe.
As Johnny gets a 3-second time penalty for warnings. That's the biggest flaw here in Silverstone. Getting those penalties really could damage your race. As we saw.
Both Haas drivers don't even have a penalty, so that's impressive by the 2 reserves. So is Pinnacle, by the way.
Oh, currently the only 3 drivers
Quaker has overtook Witcher there on the outside. Great job from Quaker. Witcher is not... Oh, do I see some rain? I do see some rain.
The rain coming, that could mean that Lunar Jedi made the right call to stay out, but this could really get difficult if it starts raining.
No, I don't think it's raining enough. But 15 laps on these softs, that's impressive.
It's really impressive. This is also one of the only 4 drivers who doesn't have a penalty yet. So you're really doing an impressive job here. And it's a reserve driver for Haas. So we have a yellow in sector 1. WC.
Will there be a safety car? That will be really interesting if it does. I don't think it will.
It's just a yellow flag. As it's going in after the pits, going into turn.
And Isolate now
two.
within the arrest range of Lunar Jedi. Because Lunar Jedi is really feeling his tires now. And he's pitting. He dives into the pits.
I think that's the right call to make. If you're losing a second, really,
Well,
like
Isolate
now.
takes the lead of this race. He still have to pit, but a great strategy call from Isolate. Keeping out of any trouble on the start. Leading now. Great job from Isolate.
We still see some light rain coming down.
Yeah, the light rain is becoming a bit heavier now. But I'm not sure
As
if it
Lunar
will be
Jedi
enough.
goes on to the intermediates.
Oh, interesting strategy.
It might be a bit early for those intermediates.
It's way too early for these intermediates.
So this again, is this going to be the wrong
He's going to lose
call?
a lot of time because of this.
Yeah, for sure, it's definitely way too early for those intermediate tires. We'll keep a look at his times.
Well, Coker is within 3/10 now of Raz. So he's definitely...
On those new medium tires, only 3 laps old in comparison to Raz's 13 lap old, so he really wants to take advantage of those tires.
I think Quoker is one of our big... I think he's... Yeah, how many penalties does he have? 5 seconds. Well, Witcher is on 7. Yeah, Lunar Jedi is struggling.
Lunar
As
Jedi
we have been overtaken with on
definitely made the wrong
there.
choice there, going on to those intermediate tires. The only driver out there, as no one really seems to have. As Quaker hits Raz on the back of the car and gets a penalty as well.
Oh no.
Raz gets a penalty as he spun right in the last corner. Which are really close to Quaker now as well, only 3/10.
What is Raz doing? Why are they just leaving the session? I'm not going to understand that.
Which overtook Quaker, they're going back into P5. With those 7 old lap medium tires, which are really working for him now. Quaker's still close there.
Will there be more rain?
Lunar Jedi already dropping
Sure,
7 seconds to Skullface.
Even the AI of Raz is catching him.
Definitely a wrong choice of tires there for Lunar Jedi, which really is costing him the race so far, so he really has to hope that it starts raining very much quite soon, because otherwise his good stint on those soft tires will be thrown away.
Poker's in the pits now. Will we go for intermediates as well?
Go have a look. If Quaker goes onto those, he's only done 5 laps on those medium tires, so is he going to choose for the intermediates?
He's going to change his front wing. No, he's going for fresh shafts. So I don't think the rain is falling. And Lunar Jedi made a big mistake for pitting for the intermediates.
That's really bad luck for him. As the computer of Raz is only 2/10.
Oh, we have a battle
behind.
with Arrow and Gmal on track. Oh.
And a yellow flag in sector
now.
3.
Yeah, people struggling.
It looks to be like one of the Williams has come off.
Which is still is still there, by the way. Even with front wing damage. He is managing to keep up with the other guys.
Which driving a good pace and still has a chance, of course, to win this race as the first front four drivers have to pit. So they're driving already. Oh! And there a big crash.
Arrow.
As Arrow and I believe Luna Jedi hit each other. And that's gonna bring out the safety car.
Oh, this is going to be very, very interesting.
IP diving into the pits.
And oh, Witcher also in the pits. Oh, well, the front runners didn't have time to dive into the pits. This is going to help Witcher again. Oh, Witcher
and Johnny going onto the intermediate tire. What is IP going to do? IP, I believe, is going to the intermediate tire as well. So it is raining quite a lot now, so all the drivers are going onto those intermediate tires.
Oh, this is not going to help the front runners. Well, isolate, or maybe it does. Now it's going to be who is going to be the quickest in the rain. Oh, interesting race so far.
As most of the drivers coming into the pit changing into the intermediate tires. Quaker, who just pitted before onto the softs, might regret his choice now. As everyone believes that the intermediate is going to be the fastest tire around the track.
Yeah, Quaker is still continuing, so he might take a gamble. He wasn't so sure about it, so...
As Isolate with Flair coming into the pits now as well, our current race leader. Followed by Frisky Biscuit, who of course is following him.
Yeah, he has enough time
to
keep his first position on Johnny.
MGT is coming into the pits as well.
And he's also going for the intermediates. Everyone is going for the intermediates now. Now it's going to be very interesting because who is the fastest in the rain? And we only have a sprint race left with 5 laps or 5 lappers.
It's going to be really interesting as those intermediate tires were
and the whole
probably no one reckoned we would take the intermediate tires this weekend, so it's really interesting if drivers have trained on those intermediate tires this week. So who will be the quickest? As Isolate with Flair still in P1 after his pit stop.
Yeah.
Only 4 drivers.
Let's have a look at all the penalties, because penalties are going to be a big thing now. Neuropirate is not having any penalties.
Neuropirate really in a good position now. He's P4 but without any penalties. And in front of him Johnny with 11-second penalty. Frisky Biscuit with 6. So is Isolate with Flair, a 6-second penalty. It's really important for them to open up a gap and try to sprint away as fast as possible. So we have 5 DNFs this race, which is quite an amount. As we saw, the last safety car got brought out due to a crash with Arrow and Lunar Jedi. Unfortunate for them, as they were both... Arrow had a great qualifying and Lunar Jedi was having a great race. Unfortunate for those guys. Only 4 drivers on dry tires. Raz with his 17 all medium tires. Quaker went onto the softs right before the rain really started to drop. So he's continuing on our softs, trying to, well, hoping that it stays dry enough for him and he won't lose the car. And then we have Straight Racer and Pinnacle in P12 and P13, who are both driving on the medium tires. The rest of the field all onto the intermediates. As it doesn't look that it's raining very hard. As Rez is coming into the pits now.
Yeah, that's his AI.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, we've missed that. His AI is coming into the pits now. Also changing into the intermediate tires. So we're already into lap 21. Safety car is still out, hoping of course it will come in this lap. Only the field is just not tight packed together. As Straight Racer and Pinnacle both come into the pits as well.
And the Pinnacle has a drive-through, so... But he can't serve a drive-through under safety car conditions.
Pinnacle pitting to the intermediate tires as well.
Yeah, because he can't serve his drive-through on safety car conditions. So he has to do this drive-through when the safety car is over. So he's going to lose a lot of time because of that.
Really tough race for him as he started P3, as I remember, and now down to P14. That's really tough for him. As our big winner from today so far is Iceland with Flair, who made up 15 places.
Yeah. Will he... I'm cheering for Isolate because I don't think he has many points yet in F2.
So who do you think has the best chance of winning this race? As it is only a sprint race.
It will be a tough one, but I think as it stands now, Neuropirate doesn't have any penalties. And is everyone in front of him, and of course Witcher, going to set to gain 3 seconds in a few laps? If he stays out of trouble, I think Neuropirate is the one who can win this one. Oh, you have what is happening? Quoker's in the pits. Oh, he decides to
abandon the soft tires. A bit, yeah, it really was a tough call for him as he just went in a lap early for his softs. And definitely didn't make the right call. He was in a great position before the rain started coming down, but now he has to start from the back of the field in this sprint race, which will only last 4 laps probably. So Yari, you will be thinking about the driver of the day for today?
If he can keep it and win it, I think it's gonna be Isolate.
Yeah, for sure. He made up so much places in the race.
He's just stayed out of trouble. He knows he doesn't have the quickest pace in this tier, but if he can manage to keep this win, and that will be awesome. I think for him and for everyone who's in the tier, every driver can win a race under any conditions, so...
Yeah, for sure. We saw in qualifying, it was all so close together. It just shows how good the drivers are and how good they are in this tier, so everyone has a good chance to win any race. It's just the circumstances. Well, I would have to give Neuropirate a good piece of credit, as he still hasn't got any penalties as a reserve driver, qualifying in P6. And really has a chance of getting a podium and possibly even a win in his first race. Would be a really good result for him and the Haas team, as Lunar Jedi, yeah, DNF'd this race. So Haas's hopes are on Neuropirate today, but he's doing a great job. But so are Frisky Biscuit, Johnny and Iceland with Flair, all made the right
The safety
calls.
cars going in this lap, and we will have a sprint race, a small sprint race. Let's follow the leader Iceland, who can set the pace to continue this race. And let's see if everyone can keep himself out of trouble, because these last laps it's all or nothing.
So Pinnacle still with the drive-through penalty. He has to
there
serve.
he goes. Isolate goes. Great restart from Isolate.
Witch and Neuropirate already in a battle together, trying to make those softs work really or those intermediates really difficult.
On the outside. Oh, Witchy goes off track. And oh, Neuropirate takes P3 from Johnny. What a great move from Neuropirate there.
As Witch takes P4 again.
Oh, and there's a spin between both AlphaTauris. Oh, what a spin!
IP with a amazing drift, managing to completely cut the corner, but still get his car onto track. P6 for him, but a 16-second time penalty in total.
You got 10 seconds of penalties because of that drift.
It's for sure not
we're
gonna
not
help
on
him.
Tokyo Drift IP. Come on.
We have to give him credit. It just shows how difficult these conditions are on those
Yeah,
tires
well,
as
we have
well.
both Force Indias fighting and wheel to wheel now, and they kept it clean.
With Richard very close to
Well,
Nero
Isolate and
Pirate.
Frisky are pulling away from Neuro Pirate, but
They
they
have
need
to manage,
6 seconds.
yeah, a 6 second gap, really, but they already have 3 seconds. They have a pace of their own. Isolate
Yeah,
and
and
Frisky.
they should be happy Witcher is behind Neuro Pirate because Witcher is seriously someone to look out for, and that's Neuro Pirate. He's looking at the back at the moment. And Skullface didn't pick up any penalty, so he will be probably picking up some great points as well. And while Silver Eagle also doesn't have any penalties.
As we see a really close battle for 10th place down. And Witcher overtakes Neuro Pirate.
Oh, with
You
a
see him
switchback
sliding.
from Neuro.
Because after they overtake Witcher was just sliding around. It's so difficult to keep the car on track with those intermediate tires, which are good for rain. As we have a yellow in sector 1. It's Raz, his AI,
Pinnacle again.
and Pinnacle.
Yeah, Pinnacle decides to retire from this session because
I can imagine for him it's
so much bad luck.
Yeah, his luck just ran out after qualifying. Starting a great position, but during a race just didn't have the luck to keep it going.
And Isolate is on a mission. Well, we have
Frisky
Johnny
Biscuit.
and IP who touched before because that was the amazing drift from IP, and Skullface ready in P7 to gain 2 positions.
Johnny and IP will both drop back quite a lot. Both having
I think they will be last. No, not last, I think. But IP, I think 10 seconds. I think he will be reporting that because what could he do? You know?
Yeah, for sure. He just cut off the grass, and we have a
Oh,
yellow
and we
in
have a
sector
spinner, straight
3.
razor. Well,
Just
Isolate is
shows.
really close on with Frisky.
So we have another yellow. This time in sector
and we
1.
have Neuro Pirate losing a lot of time. Does he have damage? Because if Witcher can, I don't think he is 4
Which only
seconds
has
behind
to
Isolate
create a
now.
gap more of 6/10 of a second to keep him safe of that podium position. Of course, starting from pole position, he'll be wanting to close that gap with Frisky Biscuit and Isolate with Flare to take the win, which is gonna be very difficult.
Really close now. And Neuro Pirate isn't quick enough to keep with the guys in front. Well, Johnny is already on his tail now. Does Neuro Pirate have any damage maybe? No, he doesn't.
He just doesn't have the pace on those intermediates. As we have another yellow flag for what looks like Stray Razor, who is really struggling at the back now.
And Frisky really closing up now on Isolate with Flare. And heading into the last lap with an amazing battle between 2 guys who have the pace at the front to become a front runner, but they didn't have any luck this season. So who is gonna win this one? Let's stay with this battle. Well, Witcher is gaining now.
Witcher now gets a 3-second penalty,
another
which
3 seconds. Yeah, that's not going to help him.
Definitely not going to help him. So probably...
It's going to be the battle between Isolate and Frisky.
And Frisky gets another penalty of 3 seconds.
And it's going to be Isolate. Is it going to be Isolate?
It's really close. If Neuropirate can just close that 3.5 second gap, it really has to step his pace in this last lap in order to get his podium position. Or maybe even the win.
No mistakes should be made now from Isolate. Keep your head down.
Going through Chapel and Hanger Straight for the last time of this race. It was a hectic race with the 2 safety cars we had changing to the intermediate tires. It was a spectacular race with a lot of good overtakes.
And it's Skullface also having a great race himself, because he will move up to P, I think.
And there Isolate with Flair takes
winning
the checkered flag. Witcher getting promoted to P2. What can Neuropirate get back into P2? That's such a good race for him. So of course all the penalties will be served. The Frisky Biscuit dropping to P4. Still great result for McLaren, P3 and P4. They can be proud of that into the Constructors' Championship.
Skullface also had a great race. Stayed out of the incidents, picking up great points for the Williams team. And
Skullface making up 10 places. But our big winner of today will be Isolate with Flair.
Isolate with Flair, definitely driver of the day.
I will have to agree with you on that. He had driven such a great race, showing his composure and keeping those intermediate tires working as well, getting minimum penalties. So that's very difficult.
Great race we've been watching.
As everyone has crossed the line now, we have our final results for now. Of course, we'll
Raz is getting disqualified because he didn't retire on the game, so his AI won't count.
So it will mean
we'll
a
move
couple
Straight
of places.
Racer up to P12.
So yeah, it even says it in the game. Isolate with Flair, driver of the day. We will have to agree on that, won't we, Jari? As we see the podium coming up there. We had a great race here in Silverstone. Of course we always see. And then we have the final standings. Isolate with Flair, starting from P16, takes the win. Followed by Neuropirate, who really had a good race in his first weekend in the Haas team. To round up the podium positions, we have Witcher, who probably manages to keep his constructor or driver championship lead. And in 4th place, just missing out on the podium, is Frisky Biscuit, followed by Skullface, GMA, then Quaker, Silver Eagle on P8, Johnny P9, who drove quite a good race starting from P17, IP, who dropped from P8 to P10, so not the best race for him, but still manages to keep that P10. MG in P11, Raz, who now has P12 but will be dropped due to some errors he made. Straight Razor in P13, and then we have Pinnacle in P14 and a couple of DNFs for Luna Jedi, Arrow, WC, and then the Kid Zico in P19, our last driver. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the race.
I did.